Hi, everybody. This is Becky, LuckyVitamin's Junior Category Manager of Vitamins, Minerals, and Herbs. It's great to have so many people joining us today for the LuckyVitamin Wellness Webinar, MyKind Organics Real Whole Food Multivitamins, presented by Amber Lynn Viets, CN. Thank you all very much. Amber Lynn Viets, CN, is a certified nutritionist in integrative nutrition and also brings her training in Ayurvedic medicine to the team. Since early childhood, she has been fascinated with the power of foods, herbs, and dietary supplements to optimize health. And after earning a BA in economics and Russian, for 20 years, she has both worked in product retail and maintained her own wellness practice, often working with doctors and holistic integrative medical professionals, promoting optimum health inside and out. In the last several years, she has reached a wider audience as a freelance writer for several natural health publications, educating retailers and consumers alike on what quality really means in both food and products. As a member of Garden of Life education team, Amber is excited to continue this mission of empowering extraordinary health. Before I turn things over, just a few quick reminders. This webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to you after its conclusion. If you have any questions during today's webinar, please enter them into the question box on your screen. At the end of the webinar, we will try to answer as many questions as possible. The promotion code will be given at the end of the presentation and will be available for 72 hours. Thank you all again, and I'm going to turn things over to Amber.
Thank you so much. Let me get my screen up here. There, that should be. Are we up? Does that look good?
Looks good.
All right, so I'll take it from here. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. Everything that we do with Garden of Life is whole food multivitamins, but MyKind Organics represents the very first time ever that a company has been able to bring a multivitamin to consumers, that is entirely from plant food. And that is a bigger feat than many of us know. And I hope to explain a little bit today about why that's such an amazing accomplishment. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that interruption. So MyKind Organics is phenomenal in the sense that we have an entire line that is entirely from plant food. And it is also certified organic, non-GMO project verified, vegan, gluten-free, kosher certified, and also now has NSF certification, which means that we went to the effort and put ourselves up for auditing such that we could be guaranteeing you, the consumer, that the product is safe. It's been third-party audited besides the FDA, third-party audited additionally throughout each year for purity, for potency, for botanical ID. This is extremely important in an era when we've been discovering that certain things don't contain what they are said to contain. And that makes us all feel like we're getting duped. It makes us all worry that we're not getting what we're paying for, and we might be getting something that could damage our health. So that NSF certification becomes extremely important and extremely valuable, and it even helps me as an educator. I'm sorry about that. I was having a problem with my door here. Okay, so back at it. These certifications give us all the opportunity to be more certain about our products and more certain about what is inside of them. Getting this accomplished was a major feat. It took us a really long time. It took several years. We had to source materials actually from all over the world. Sourcing from all over the world makes it extremely important that we have those certifications. When we're sourcing from all over, we have to have the organic certification that is international. When we're sourcing from all over, we have to have a non-GMO project verification. That means they have to go to that place. They have to go to that field. They have to go to that farm. They have to go to that facility, that manufacturing plant where the tablets get put together, where the sprays get put together. These different independent certifiers have to go to these places and make sure that this happens. So it's a very long, drawn-out process, even once we've identified exactly where we want to obtain our raw materials from. So even as we determine that we want to get certain things from different parts of the world because they are the cleanest that we can find, or they're the only place that makes it, like in the case of vegan D3, vitamin D3 from lichen, which came from the UK, getting K2 from natto, where it is fermented on soybeans, but getting soybeans that are not genetically modified and where this natto can be fermented in an environment that, you know, where they're used to making it and it's made the right way and we get a high potency of vitamin K2. Having access to fruits and vegetables that are very rich in phytonutrients and antioxidants and are organic and where they are abundant enough that we can get as much as we need. That's all a part of the formula of putting this all together. But by far the biggest part of the picture for putting together MyKind Organics was actually being able to get vitamins and minerals out of plants in an amount that is significant for our health. We're getting a significant dose that is like we are eating the most best grown, most nutrient rich, most antioxidant rich food that we could get our hands on. Even when we don't have access to that food, we're actually able to get it out of a supplement. So the majority of the nutrients, when you pick up a bottle or the box of MyKind Organics, the majority of the nutrients are actually coming from these 10 botanicals, which are grown and harvested and water extracted and spray dried into a powder in a part of India, in the Bangalore area of India, in the Karnataka region. And that came out of a very interesting history, which I will explain in a moment. Those 10 botanicals, plus iodine from sea kelp in Iceland, plus an bioactive cholecalciferol form of vitamin D3 from plant material, from lichen, which is actually a blend of algae and bacteria. It's kind of a symbiotic organism, but it's certainly much more like a plant. K2, the most active form of K2 that has a 24-hour half-life in our body, being like air traffic control for calcium and getting it to the right places in the body, coming from non-GMO soybeans that are fermented into natto. And then our methyl B12, which I will also describe to you in a moment. Those 14 sources make up pretty much all the nutrients in the MyKind Organics multivitamins and minerals, with very few exceptions. The whole concept for MyKind came out of an observation of people in the Tamil Nadu villages and that group of people from India, and scientists, but people who are very much anthropologically centered, observing that in these communities, people didn't suffer the same disease states that they certainly can at times from in other areas of India, or if you looked at all through Southeast Asia and China and so on and so forth. In that region, they were retaining their ancient Ayurvedic rituals when it comes to prenatal health. So women who were of childbearing age, women who were already pregnant, did certain things every single day. They would eat a little snack frequently throughout the day of an amla berry picked fresh off of a tree, and wrap a curry leaf around that amla berry, pop it in their mouth like a little wasabi snack. Well, that already is kind of like, what is that? That's very interesting. But they never took a leaf from the curry plant that was growing out in the sunshine. That plant they would harvest for cooking, and that would lend this pungent flavor that you get in, what we know in Indian cuisine. But the bush that they picked the curry leaf from to wrap around the amla berry to eat when they were pregnant only grew under the amla tree. And what they later discovered after they analyzed everything was that the curry leaf that grew under the amla tree got extra minerals that and metals that you didn't get if you were not next to a tree with deep roots. In other words, this curry leaf that was under the almond tree had quite a lot of iron in it, naturally occurring, like spinach would, but even more potent. And thus you had a combination of a potent plant iron combined with a very rich source of vitamin C, which helps you absorb your iron. Women also frequently would drink a very strongly brewed lemon peel tea. And these lemons were little heirloom lemons, much smaller than what we typically see in our grocery stores, very, thinner skinned. And this peel would be taken off and dropped into boiled water, and it would be steeped. And women would drink this throughout the day. And again, upon analysis, we find that this particular lemon peel is very rich in folates, dietary folates, which is one of your B vitamins. Not folic acid, which is synthetic, but real dietary folates. And so if you ask these people in these regions, in these villages, in these communities, why do you do this? Well, this has always been what we did. They're not saying, oh, because it has a lot of folates in it. Oh, because it has a lot of iron in it. Oh, because it's rich in vitamin C and it goes with the iron. No, they're saying this is what we always did. This is our ancient method. We've always done this. It works. We have healthy babies. And it's true that statistically they have lower infant mortality rate, higher thriving rate for infants, lower rate of birth defects, a higher rate of overall fertility than surrounding areas that do not do these things or that have advanced to more quote unquote westernized methods of both farming and eating. And so this prenatal concept was really the origin for MyKind Organics. And so remember that the whole line is sort of originates in a prenatal health and in the idea that we found a company that was founded by scientists who discovered the secret to health and to attaining a certain level of nutrients in farming by going back to ancient practices. In fact, the ancient practices in farming are so important that the group of people that founded the company from whom we source these raw materials ultimately decided they had to build their own farm. It was not possible for them to just, get some amla berry from this farm over here and some from that farm over there. The vitamin C levels varied, the quality varied, the freshness varied, the organic certifications couldn't be confirmed. So ultimately they decided, we really need to have our own farm. And they went ahead and employed the exact same farming techniques that were used in ancient Ayurveda, which is called Vriksha Ayurvedic farming techniques. It's beyond organic, it's actually biodynamic. There's a lot of soil reconditioning that has to happen. And because you're having multiple harvests a year, because crops are growing year round, that biodynamic portion becomes very, very crucial. Not only is it an amazingly farmed plot of land, it's also adjacent to a nature preserve, so you get a buffer zone from industry. It's actually spring fed, but the spring water itself has to be distilled. It has to be purified so that if you're using that as an extraction solvent, you're actually having a completely pure water and not interfering with the extraction by there being other minerals in that water. And because this farm is living and growing year round, because there are harvests year round, because extractions are happening year round, all of the people who are working on that farm are permanent. And thus they found it necessary to build a children's mission and a school so that there'd be a constant community that is farming, that is family oriented, and where families can actually thrive and yet contribute to this wonderful raw material. And so what they harvest there, they did a lot of research deciding what they needed to grow and how they needed to grow it in order to get the most potent amount of nutrients that they were after. And this company, Orgenetics, they actually provide a lot of different herbal or botanical raw material. But for the multivitamin and mineral blends that we're after, there are very specific plants that yield those. And they start with Ayurvedic seed stock. So we know that it's organic. We know that it's non-GMO project verified. And those particular plants have already been identified to be the most potent sources of the nutrients that we're after. But there's also quite a lot of overlap. So while we know, for example, that amla berry is where we're going to get our vitamin C, we can also find other vitamins and minerals present in the amla berry. Annatto seed is where we're going to get A and E, but there are other things present in annatto seed, that B vitamins and vitamins. There's a lot of overlap in nutrients, but there's usually a in each of these things that are eaten as food in this part of the world. An herbal with particular compounds that the company Organics could extract that material and standardize it for a particular vitamin or mineral or combination instead of standardizing it to an herbal compound like we are used to doing, like curcuminoids and turmeric, which they also do. In this case, we're standardizing for, biotin, or we're standardizing for folates, or we're standardizing for vitamin C or vitamin E or A, for example. So the standardization is to the nutrient, and yet there's no isolation from all of the other ingredients that are in that plant that come along in that extraction. So it is still in its whole food matrix, and that percentage of it is the vitamin or mineral that we are after. The extraction process is a huge part of this, of our ability to even bring this product to market. It was initially explored as with an economic incentive, in that if you didn't use a petroleum-based solvent to extract, then you wouldn't have to go to the effort to clean that solvent off of that material or to dispose of that solvent. If you could just use water, then you are shortcutting the process. And then it turned out, as they went through exploring the way to do that, that in fact this also made it very feasible for them to take already certified organic plant material and wind up with a certified organic end product that is 100% botanical powder. And that is how it works. There are 4 patents on this extraction process because there are 4 different ways to extract, depending upon exactly what material is being extracted. So for example, amla berry can be extracted all by itself, standardized to vitamin C. There's some of this other stuff coming along for the ride, and that is one method of extraction. Annatto seed, we're after A and E. And A and E are fat-soluble vitamins, right? But we're extracting into water. So they have to utilize other fruits like amla berry, and acerola cherry is another thing I know is involved in the process, because they provide natural organic acids that help to emulsify the fats in the annatto seed into the hot water and make these fat-soluble vitamins available for extraction and standardization. The B complex extraction is another patent because it involves guava leaf and fruit, holy basil leaf. I keep losing my cursor here. Where did it go? Holy basil, sesbania, and lemon peel in a couple of different. It turns out that B vitamins, there are different forms, and they're called vitamers. So B6, there are multiple vitamers. B5, there are multiple vitamers. B9, folates, there are multiple vitamers. And so some of them, or most of them really, are water soluble, and that's what we think of as B vitamins, but some of them aren't so water soluble. Some of them are a little bit more fat soluble. And so the addition of holy basil leaf, which has certain organic acids, and the addition of the fruit of the lemon can help to extract those less water soluble compounds into the hot water and make them available as well. So there's 4 different patents because there's 4 different ways that they extract depending upon what they're after, simply by adding other plant process. It's really brilliant and quite beautiful. The extraction process takes place in 4 different tanks. You have an extraction tank, first of all, which is a lot like an impatient person dipping their tea bag in their hot water. It's a hot water tank with hot water jets that agitate it. So if it's curry leaf and we're looking at iron, those curry leaves are being pounded and pounded and pounded by hot water, by jets that are moving that hot water around and breaking those leaves apart and breaking the leaves off of the stems and just basically pulverizing it so that all of the iron can get into solution in the water. And then when that liquid is filtered out of the first tank, and there's about 10,000 liters of liquid into that material, all the fibrous material that's left over is taken out and dried for biomass generators, because this whole facility is off the grid. They use solar and biomass generators. There's a couple of evaporative tanks called falling film evaporators, which I encourage you to look up if you're a person who's into schematics, but it's a way that you can get a lot of water evaporated off of this liquid and keep concentrating it. And then there's a distillation, and that is a part of the standardization. You take out some more of the water. And then there is filtration, and they're filtering through a fancy sounding filter, which is really just nothing more than a column of diatomaceous earth. This whole final liquid from 10,000 liters gets concentrated down to between 1 and 200 liters. And it's not sticky because the whole filtration process has sugars that drying or mean that you had to spray dry onto something. So then in the end, it's very simple. This hot water extraction is not so foreign. We do this all the time. A lot of us do this every single day. And the final powder is 100% alma powder, or 100% curry powder, or 100% sesbania, holy basil, guava, lemon peel powder, 100% annatto seed powder. So what's beautiful is that there's nothing to remove the potency of that final powder. The powders themselves are combined with other ingredients to make the MyKind tablets or sprays, or now the gummies as well. So the other main thing besides those particular botanical powders, the vegan D3, the iodine from sea kelp, the K2 from natto, and the methyl B12 is the fruit and vegetable powders. And our fruit and vegetable powders, or our fruit and vegetable juice powders, always come from Van Drunen Farm. We have a partnership with them that goes way back to the year 2000. They're always certified organic. They're always high in antioxidants and polyphenols, and this is what we use to make up the rest of the formula in many of our products. The other thing that we had to do in order to bring this whole line to market was recreate tableting. Tableting had to be completely reinvented, because up until that point in time, tablets contained all of these kinds of crazy ingredients, things that we can't pronounce, things that we don't really want to eat, but things that we're told are generally recognized as safe, because in such small amounts, they can't really do you any harm, can they? Well, it's interesting because things like silicon dioxide, which is actually basically sand, we usually think of it as being inert and harmless, but there's new research on brain health. And in that research on brain health, they were researching, I believe it was grapeseed extract. And the research got skewed because the placebo that was researched against the grapeseed extract was silicon dioxide, and it happened to reduce this particular protein that was produced by the brain. So it actually had a negative effect and skewed the results even further. So these things that we've sort of generally recognized as safe and as being maybe inert or, irrelevant to the formulation, I just don't ever really believe that they don't have a deleterious effect on our health, and certainly don't help us absorb these nutrients. So we worked with a company called Nutrition Labs International because we wanted to just have a tablet that was made of organic food. So you have to hold a tablet together, and this is the main ingredient that does it in these tablets. Fillers would be like fruit and vegetable powders. If we need to take up extra space, we use actives. We use organic fruits and vegetables that have antioxidants in them. The powder itself can't cake up, or you don't get a good mixing and a homogenized mix of powders. And so this is what is used to keep them flowing. They have to sometimes lubricate the machinery so that the powders don't stick, and here's what is used for that. And the dispersal means that once it's in your intestinal tract, does it stay all lumped up in one place where you really can't get full absorption, or does it disperse? Does it spread out so that it's, covering much more of your intestinal lining and you have much more area available to absorb these nutrients? And then finally, the coating is important, because if you can't swallow, so if you're someone who wants to swallow the tablet, it needs to go down smoothly. And this tablet, when you suck on them, the coating comes off very easily if you hold the tablet in your mouth for just a moment. What's interesting about these tablets is you can also bite through them with your front teeth. You can chew them. You can drop them back into warm water and let them dissolve and drink them down. So there's a lot to swallow a tablet or have difficulty in other ways. So I hope from the selection of seeds and the growing of those seeds, from the harvesting, from the extraction process into spray drying, and the spray drying process, the Montana lab where everything is tableted, or the Canadian labs where everything is put into the sprays or the liquids, or to Germany where everything is put into the gummies, that there is auditing all the way along. Facilities have to be audited for each of these certifications, and the final products have to be tested for these certifications as well. We also have gluten-free and vegan certifications, and so everything that goes into them has to be audited. The final products have to be tested in the case of gluten-free. But in these particular certifications, everything has to be investigated from seed all the way to the final product in the bottles. At every step of the way, it has to be looked at. So this is a product that is the most transparent and traceable multivitamin that you can find, and is actually truly entirely from whole food. Really. So let's go through the line a little bit, and I'll explain each of the products in might help you the best, and to help you understand why we put together the formula. First of all, let me take this opportunity now that we're looking at the one main ingredient, that is vitamin B12. We're not able, not just us, but we as an industry are not able to get a significant amount of vitamin B12 for supplementation from plants. If it is on plants, it's from microbial growth. Otherwise, B12 is present in animal products, such as liver. And therefore, if you're vegan or vegetarian, it's important to really watch your B12 intakes, and some may have to supplement to that. So B12 in these formulas is our vitamin code B12, in which an actual isolated vitamin, which is methylcobalamin, is chelated to a peptide and introduced into a living organism, which is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, sites in that single-celled organism and grows there for a time before being inactivated and harvested whole. So it's methylcobalamin that went back into a living organism and was integrated in that living organism before being harvested. And that's the way vitamin code works in the dual cultivation process. And that's a whole different story that we might do another day. Everything else that you see here is coming from this certified organic food blend. And as I explained, almost all of it is coming from those 10 botanicals. And then you have the D3 from lichen, you have the K2 from natto, you have the iodine from sea kelp, and then again, the B12. So this is the Women's Multi, a 2-a-day tablet for women who are of childbearing age and women who are still experiencing their menstruation cycles. There's iron in it in the amount of 10 milligrams coming predominantly from curry leaf. So this is for a woman who's still shedding blood monthly or on a fairly regular basis, or for somebody who needs extra iron supplementation. The difference between this and the Women's 40 Plus is that the Women's 40 Plus is for a woman who is no longer menstruating. There's no iron in it at all. You have a little bit extra energy blend in the B vitamins, plus hormone and breast support blend of black cohosh, tomato, and turmeric. So as a woman is moving into a period of her life, a point in her life when her hormones are changing and aging processes are sort of accelerating and she wants to hang on to health and vitality, this particular product is designed to support that. The Women's Once Daily is for someone who won't take more than 1 tablet a day. So this gives a 1 tablet option. It is, of course, a larger tablet. It does have 2 milligrams of iron. So in some ways, it could be for a woman who is of childbearing age or one who is not, depending upon their tolerance to iron being in a formulation. But because it's so bulky, there is no iodine in here. The sea kelp, the seaweed, is very bulky. So there's no iodine in this product, which is something to remember if you need iodine, but it's also something that can be beneficial to you if you're someone who doesn't take iodine because of particular health reasons. So that's something to remember. The Prenatal Multi is a 3-a-day, which has very significant amounts of the things that are most important as we are growing a baby inside of us, which is folate, 800 micrograms, iron, 18 milligrams, and then vitamin C to support that iron. Vitamin D is also extremely important when we are growing a baby. All of these help with fetal development from very early on, and if at all possible, a woman should be on this before she even conceives. This particular 3-a-day also has some potent ginger and peppermint root, ginger root and peppermint leaf, It's so potent actually that if you do chew on these tablets, it's very spicy. So you get an idea of how much of that's actually in there. This is a great 3-a-day for women who need extra nutritional support or want to make sure they're getting everything they need when they are pregnant. The Prenatal Once Daily, which is a newer product for us, makes sure that she's getting adequate folate and iron and vitamin C and vitamin D, but the other nutrients might not be in as high amounts because it's all packed into a once daily. There are plenty of women out there who say, I will not take more than 1 tablet a day. It's already hard enough for me to get a tablet down when I'm pregnant, so I just want it to be as easy as possible. We make sure that they're getting the most crucial nutrients and then hope that they're getting the rest from their diet. Again, this is a much larger tablet than the tablets in the 3-a-day, which are actually designed to be more slim and easier to swallow. Again, though, these could be dropped in warm water and allowed to dissolve, and you could drink them down. That is another way to do it. Getting into the men's multivitamin and mineral formulations, the men's multi 2-a-day has recommended dietary intakes for men different from women, taking into consideration men's energy needs and that they would typically have greater mass and higher nutrient needs than men just based on height and weight and the different dietary intakes for men and women. And then when you move into the men's 40 plus, you have extra B vitamins, energy enhancing vitamins, and then a prostate and heart support blend for men who are moving into later years of their lives and need that extra support. Both of these are twice dailies or 2 tablets a day. They could be taken at once, they could be taken separately, whatever works for your particular schedule. The men's once daily, again, doesn't have any of the sea kelp in it, no iodine, but has the most crucial nutrients for daily support in 1 convenient tablet that's quite a bit larger than the other tablets, of course. Trying to pack all of that into 1 tablet and give, this is a really popular one for men, as you can imagine, just trying to make it more convenient and more accessible and get them the basics on a daily basis. We have an organic plant calcium in this line, which is really quite lovely because it is vegan, as the entire line is, but that means that you're getting a significant amount of D3 that is a vegan form of D3, but truly calciferol. this is like new. This is thing that a lot of vegans have not been able to access in a calcium supplement. Having 80 micrograms of the MK7 form of K2 derived from natto, and then the calcium and magnesium are in their naturally occurring amounts from Algus calcareus, which is a type of algae that washes up on the shores in Brazil. It's not dredged, it's not netted, it is hand harvested, rinsed in fresh water, dried, and pulverized. And besides having calcium and magnesium in here in naturally occurring ratios, you can see that there's strontium and vanadium naturally occurring. In addition to that, this algae is known to have over 70 trace minerals. And trace minerals is something that is really missing from our diet. So along with the ride, if you just look up Algus calcareus or red algae, you'll see that there are a lot of minerals available to you from this sea vegetable, basically. The vegan D3 spray gives the option for more supplementation of vitamin D3 in people who need it. So if you're not getting enough in your multi for some reason or in your calcium, you can increase your intake by the spray, which is the same D3 from lichen in a pumpkin and cranberry seed oil. We also have a D3 that is a chewable if you don't want to mess around with the spray. The chewable is quite nice, where the spray has 1,000 IUs per spray. The tablet chewable has 2,000 IUs per tablet. And you also have a lipid matrix because we have flaxseed and some carrot in there, which is going to help to put that D3 into fat delivery system, because D3 is a fat-soluble vitamin. We also included a little bit of our certified organic mushroom blend for overall immune support, knowing that that is a huge benefit of vitamin D3 for all of us. The B12 spray doesn't really have any of the ingredients from the Orgenetics farm in India, none of those botanicals, because this is really just about B12. 12 methylcobalamin, the way in a living organism, it's grown in Saqqara, in a blend of all those that come from Van Drunen Farm. So this tastes amazing. Spray, there are 140 sprays in a bottle approximately, and so it can be dosed as needed by people who. This is easily absorbed through the oral membranes. Don't have to necessarily spray it under your tongue. That's kind of an old concept that it has to be under the tongue. All of your oral membranes are very absorbent. The B complex was a newer product for us as well, where in a once daily tablet, we're getting extra B vitamin support. So if you're going through extra stress, if you're going through taking any kind of medication that depletes your B vitamins, if you're very physically active, those are all reasons that some people need extra B complex support. And this product reflects that patent on the extraction process that pulls out all the B vitamins together in all of their forms. So you have all the sesbania, holy basil, guava, and lemon peel derived B vitamins, additional the methylcobalamin that comes from vitamin Co to give you the B in a base of all of those fruit and vegetable in tablet technology. So a true verse every single B vitamin. Our was really exciting to me when it came out, because I feel our product development team really did have a plant on, have vitamin C with it. You especially need to have vitamin glycerin with some ashwagandha, vitamin C, iron, it's the same time. Or the amount of vitamin C, a body in formation, red blood cell formation properly, that they're healthy. So notice that your kids could actually take this if they're 6 years and older in the recommended dose. I do want to back up and show also that we have that children's recommendation on the chewable D3. Children 4 years and older can chew 1 tablet under adult supervision per day. So that's huge. That gives you that kind of confidence that you can share these with your family. Another product that is also dosed for children and adults alike are the vitamin C sprays. These are beautiful. They taste so good. They're so easy to take. You have a version that is stevia free, which is the tangerine flavor, and a version that has a little bit of stevia in it, which is the cherry tangerine, which is more tart, so we needed a little stevia. This is the amla berry that provides the vitamin C, and in 5 sprays you get 60 milligrams, which is as if you took an entire orange and ate the whole thing. You're getting that much vitamin C, but all these other bioflavonoids, all those other phytonutrients that come along with vitamin C in a real plant food, in a real fruit, in a real leaf, where you're getting vitamin C in its natural form, and it will have that natural activity in your body that food has. So this is excellent for use throughout the day rather than in 1 mega dose. You're using this the way that you would eat an orange or eat a handful of amla berries if we all had access to that. Encourage you to use it that way and keep this close at hand during this time of year when we're exposed to more bacteria and viruses and much more likely to come down with something because of weather changes. The final one I wanted to talk about, which is the newest addition to the MyKind line and one of the most beautiful products I think that we make, is the plant collagen builder. Realize that this does not have collagen in it. Collagen comes from animals. It would be from fish, from chicken, from beef, from pigs, from lambs. A collagen builder helps you make your own collagen, keratin, elastin, these structural proteins out of your dietary amino acids. So if you take extra collagen from animal sources, if you take bone broth, if you take plant proteins in the form of shakes, if you eat plant proteins, if you eat animal proteins, in all these cases, you're getting a host of amino acids, which are the building blocks for proteins. And they have to be put together by your body in a certain way to make collagen, to make keratin, to make elastin. And that supports, of course, beautiful hair, skin, and nails, but a lot of other things in your body, including your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, your intervertebral discs, the cornea of your eyeball even is made of collagen. So all of that requires certain ingredients for assembling that collagen, that keratin and elastin, for putting them together. There are enzymes that have to put things together. Those enzymes require cofactors. So this product has all the cofactors necessary to help your body make its own collagen out of your dietary sources of amino acids, whatever they might be. And everything is coming from plants. Your vitamin A and E, of course, are coming from the annatto seed, vitamin C from amla berry, B vitamins, again, from the holy basil, guava, sesbania, and lemon peel. Biotin, specifically, separately extracted from sesbania leaf, and then certain minerals from moringa, for example. And bamboo provides silica, which is very important for collagen formation. And then a few polyphenols to help with the appearance of skin and give it that beautiful clarity that we're all looking for. Turmeric, green tea, pomegranate, bioflavonoids, rooibos tea. So this is a beautiful product to support your own body in doing what it knows how to do best, helping your body help itself. There's nothing better than that, and everything coming from real food. The gummies I want to speak on briefly because everything I just talked about as ingredients has been put into a fruit chew that comes entirely from apples and peaches. And that, again, is unique. It's never been done before. This is the simplest thing you can possibly imagine, where you have actually 9 whole fruits per bottle. Each bottle has 30 servings, so every serving has almost a third of a fruit. You have the MyKind blend of vitamins and minerals, no artificial colors, only perfect purple carrot color and organic fruit flavorings. And then pectin is what holds it together, along with a little tapioca fiber. It's extremely simple. You have a whole line of prenatal, women's, men's, and children's multis. And as you notice, they're made from apples, from peaches, tapioca fiber, pectin. Then we just have fruit flavor, carrot juice coloring, and the pectin coming from the orange peel and the apples as well. The rest is the typical MyKind blend, and this is an amazing gummy. If you like gummies, they taste like the best fruit chew ever and are giving you certain doses of your daily vitamins and minerals that you need. There's no reason to take any other kind of gummy. Everything else just maybe has fruit juice in it, doesn't even have any juice or fruit at all, has fruit flavors. There's artificially flavored and color ones if you go to the pharmacy and get your gummies there. But even in the health food stores, this is a brand new product. They're actually made in Germany because that was the only place we could get to make these gummies in the right kind of a mold using only sunflower oil and organic rice flour to coat them and keep them from sticking. Everywhere else used cornstarch, and we didn't want to do that. So we went to great lengths to make a beautiful gummy that tastes amazing. I'm hard pressed to keep it down to 4 a day, I have to tell you. So here's what we love about the MyKind Organics, the USDA organic, non-GMO project verified, truly whole food multivitamin line. Everything's actually from foods, the most certified, most transparent, most audited, most traceable line of vitamins available. And the doses of nutrients are meaningful, but not mega doses, not nutrient flooding. We're actually trying to eat things, supplement in the way that we would eat our nutrients. Let our body have a chance to absorb them and not flush them out in our urine or in our stool. It's obviously gluten-free. Nothing in there even originally came from gluten. And the clean tableting technology, as well as the sprays and the new gummies, are all innovative delivery systems that are the cleanest thing out there. A beautiful line that really speaks to our mission of empowering extraordinary health. So I think now we need to move into a question and answer period. I thank you all for listening. Thanks for being patient in the beginning of this when I had the FedEx that couldn't figure out how to open the door to my apartment, working from home today. And I was so excited. My cats didn't interrupt us, but the FedEx man did. And I hope I can answer any questions for you now.
Thank you so much, Amber. That was full of great information. And we do have a few questions we want to get right into. What time of the day is best to take a multi?
The same time of day as when you take your probiotic, which is when you will remember. That is the first thing for compliance, is when is the best time that you will remember it. The great thing about the MyKind multis, whether you're looking at the sprays or you're looking at the tablets or the chewables or the gummies, is that for most everybody, these do not create an upset stomach the way that a lot of people have experienced a multivitamin tablet. These are coming from food. They're full of phytonutrients. I actually like to take my antioxidants at the same times that I take my probiotics. So if you are throwing down a probiotic first thing in the morning, it's no problem to take this with them. I also like to take my multivitamin with my coffee because my coffee has a lot of fat in it because I like fat coffee. And so that's another great time. And these have never bothered me on an empty stomach, which is what's great about them. That makes it much more convenient. You don't have to wait till you eat to take them typically. I would advise against taking them on an empty stomach with black coffee that doesn't have any cream in it or anything like that. In that case, sometimes people get a little flush because it's just this rush of polyphenols, and it can make you feel a little bit like you have a little heat on your skin. But if taken with a little bit of fat or a little bit of food or with a shake or something like that, you tend not to feel that.
Somebody wants to know, and if I'm sick, should I take more?
Mm-hmm. Anything, even a good thing. If you were to just overdose even on a bottle of MyKind Organics Multis, your body would be able to flush out what you can't use. You just might have a stomach ache. And the great thing about the MyKind vitamins is that everything, so it's as if you overdosed on really good food for the day. Maybe you'd just be satiated and you wouldn't be hungry. I don't know. But it's the difference. Overdosing on a metallic iron, which can make you very constipated, or overdosing on spinach, which, I don't know, does it ever make anybody constipated? It does. Iron. So the fact is that your body can typically sort it out. You're not using a preformed vitamin A that could be toxic to the liver or to the liver. You're using A's and D's and E's that are in the form that you find them in food. So, if you're reasonable to give yourself extra nutrition, or if your diet doesn't have the kind of nutrition that you wish that it did, in some but also realize that you want to space those nutrients out so your body has more of a chance to absorb them and utilize them. You don't want to take all your nutrients at once. Don't take your multivitamin with your most nutritious meal. Take it with your least nutritious meal. Does that make sense? You don't want to overload yourself on good nutrients, or you won't be able to use them all and you'll excrete them before you get to them. So try to think about taking it when you're having, your fast food and you're at Shake Shack or In-N-Out Burger or Five Guys or whatever your equivalent is wherever you live. Don't take your multivitamin when you're having a plate full of incredible vegetables or fruits or things that are nutrient rich already.
Thank you. This one kind of goes with that. If a person was on a vegan diet, would they need to have more of a multivitamin than somebody who eats meat?
Well, that's hard to generalize without looking at the person's diet, because there are bagel-eating vegans, and then there are vegans who are really careful about eating a lot of nutrition. And there are meat eaters that only eat meat and fat and don't like vegetables at all. And there are meat eaters that eat meat but include tons of vegetables as well and eat different parts of animals as well. So it would be hard for me to say without knowing the person's diet. But this whole line, we were developing it at the same time that Alicia Silverstone, who is vegan, who wrote a book called The Kind Mama, who wrote about a vegan lifestyle and being pregnant while being a vegan, was looking for multivitamins and couldn't find what she was looking for. So we certainly designed it with vegans in mind, in the sense that it would be supportive for people who were maybe had a limitation to the kinds of things they could access in their diet. But the typical limit for a vegan is actually proteins, not necessarily nutrients, if they're eating plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables and plant foods. If you're a vegan who eats just a lot of bread and almond spread, then you might need more, a more potent multi. Take the 2 a day. Don't take the gummies, for example.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'm just going to ask one more question today. Can these products be described as raw?
No, these products are not raw. Actually, our vitamin coated line is raw because everything in that process is produced under 115 degrees, but not everything in the vitamin code line is coming from plant food. In the case of MyKind Organics, the original extraction process of those 10 botanicals is in hot water. It's not in boiling hot water, but it is over 115 degrees, which, definitely is not a part of our raw definition. We also do not include probiotics or enzymes in these we wanted to make tablets so that you could take fewer a day, and tableting, it requires pressure, and pressure creates heat, and it creates heat that's over 115 degrees. And when we get over that temperature, we start to degrade enzymes. So this is not an enzyme-rich product, but it does have retained and preserved antioxidants, phytonutrients, and the vitamins and minerals that we're after. So again, that's why it's a great thing to take with your probiotic. Your probiotic is raw. Your probiotic is alive. It will activate in the body. And your microbes love antioxidants. They love plant food. So it's a really good combination to take those two together, have them both a part of your daily diet.
Thank you. We're going to wrap things up now, and thank you all again for attending. And again, thank you, Amber, for all of that wonderful information. If you have not done so already, please register for our upcoming webinars. For more information, please visit LuckyVitamin.com and search keyword webinar. Please see the screen for an exclusive promo code. Reminder, this code is active now and will be active for the next 72 hours. Thanks all again.